war is over. The days of satellite states and spheres of influence are behind us.
The past week has made it feel as though East-West relations are in free fall. How you view Russia's decision to send in tanks depends on which side you favour. A humanitarian mission against Georgian aggression, says Russia. An attempt to intimidate Georgia, says Tbilisi and its allies. By Monday, the Americans were calling it an invasion. President Medvedev did promise the French president he was ready to agree to a truce and a pullback. But 3 days on, Russian forces are still there inside Georgia. So Western pressure on Russia is being ratcheted up, notch by notch. This mutual antagonism didn't come out of the blue. It's been growing steadily. Relations between Russia and Georgia are appalling. Mr. Putin let it be known he couldn't stand Mikhail Saakashvili. But strains between Russia and the West have also been growing, festering suspicions that erupted when there was a crisis. It seems a long time since that US-Russia love fest of 2001, the year when George W. Bush said he could look into Vladimir Putin's eyes and see his soul. But it didn't take long for the friendship to sour. Among Russian grievances, the Velvet Revolution in Georgia that brought Mr. Saakashvili to power, swiftly followed by Ukraine's Orange Revolution. Both uprisings manipulated and funded from the West in the Kremlin's view, all part of NATO's desire to encroach on its former territory. As for the West, it was Mr. Putin's increasingly aggressive style that they distrusted, whether locking up Russia's richest oligarch, or cutting off energy supplies to poorer neighbours, or refusing to extradite Britain's suspect in the Litvinenko murder, his obsession with asserting Russia's power, while understandable historically, was deeply disquieting.
Prime Minister Putin is interested in reasserting not only Russia's great power or superpower status, but in reasserting Russia's traditional spheres of influence. There is an effort to try and redress what they regard as many of the concessions they feel were forced upon them in the 1990s, in the early 1990s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union.
So where is this leading? Well, if it really is a battle for regional influence, it's already reverberating. Poland's rush to conclude a deal with the United States this week over that controversial missile shield Russia opposes is one act of defiance, prompting Moscow today to warn Poland it had made itself a target. And Ukraine, another NATO aspirant, has also shaken its fist at Moscow, reopening the question of Russia's lease of Ukrainian port for its Black Sea fleet. Ukraine, poised on Europe's border, divided between East and West, could well be the next battleground.
Our partners must, as one must say, must really carefully understand what happened and what are the consequences of what happened. They don't have to blame only one side or blame entirely Russia for what happened.
With its actions in recent days, Russia has damaged its credibility and its relations with the nations of the free world. Bullying and intimidation are not acceptable ways to conduct foreign policy in the 21st century.
Even though countries like France and Germany are trying to mediate, this week could mark a turning point. The chilling end to post-war collaboration and the start of a new confrontation.